Hey there. What is voice leading and how do we use it when writing a melody in a parallel period? Voice leading sounds interesting, doesn't it? So, how do you compose a four measure phrase ending on a stable or unstable scale degree? And what is a stable and unstable scale degree anyway? Well, in level 5, you learned about writing a melody in a parallel period, and you discovered how the antecedent asks a question in the first four measure phrase, and the consequent concludes in the second four measure phrase. So we're constantly growing and building our knowledge. And I want to say thank you to all of you that are joining me today. Now, you learned about how to learn these 3 easy steps, and now we're going to use that to use voice leading in a melody for level 6. Okay, so now we're going to use status, conjunct, and disjunct voice leading, and what even is that, right? Plus, I've got a little bonus tip for you at the end, so be sure to stay tuned. I'm Gloria St. Germain from Ultimate Music Theory, and today you're going to learn the 3 easy steps to melody writing in a parallel period for level 6. So we've talked about level 4, we talked about level 5, and today we're going to do level 6. Now, in the Intermediate Rudiments workbook, you are learning about cadences. You're identifying a half cadence, you're identifying the authentic cadence, and also the plagal cadence. But today in melody writing, we're just going to talk about the authentic cadence and about the half cadence in your melody writing. So make sure to grab your little answer books too, so you can follow along with me today. So we're going to build on our foundation of cadences that we just talked about in level 6. And we're going to use our level 6 supplemental workbook to discover how you can use this simple process. And remember, we always want to use the KISS method, right? Keep it super simple. And we want to complete a parallel period using cadence voice leading. So in a parallel period, each four measure phrase, A and A1, ends with a chord progression and with a cadence. Okay, we got that. So phrase A ends on a half cadence and also ends on an unstable scale degree. So now we've grown a little, and now we're going to learn that an unstable scale degree can be 2, 5, or 7. We're learning a new one today. Phrase A1 rather, ends on an authentic cadence and on a scale degree of 1, 3, 5, or 8, which of course is the upper tonic, right? So let's get started. So in our level 6 supplemental workbooks, we're learning to write this parallel period. So step 1 is to identify the cadences. So now let's see, we're going to start with first identifying the voice leading, right? So what is voice leading anyway? So if we're looking at our very first cadence at the end of phrase 1, how would you identify this cadence going from 1 to 5? Is that going to be an authentic cadence or is that going to be a half cadence? Well, let's do the big reveal. It is a half cadence. Okay, so now when we're looking at the second four measure phrase, which is A1, because remember we're doing a parallel period, so now the cadence would be what? Going from 5 to 1 will be called an authentic cadence. Excellent. So now let's take a look at voice leading and what is voice leading. So status is leading by the same note. So it's when we repeat the same note leading into our final note in our cadence. So here you can see this is not the same note. So that would not be identified as status. The second one is called conjunct. And that's when we move by step. So looking at this progression, this chord progression, are we moving by step? Say yes. So that means that this would be conjunct. And finally, what is disjunct? So when we have disjunct, it's when we're going to be moving from by a leap or a skip, right? So we have status, which is the same note repeated, conjunct, which is moving by step, and disjunct, which is moving by skip. So there's 3 different ways that we can move to the final note of our phrase. We can either move by same repeated note, by a step, or by a skip. So step 2 is this parallel period phrase ending on what scale degree? So we know that it has to end on an unstable scale degree, and we've already talked about those numbers, right? 2, 5, or 7. So what is our cadence ending on? Any guesses out there? Aha, I see you're there. So this is ending on scale degree number 2. Okay, and that's an unstable scale degree, so we got that. The second phrase ends on what stable scale degree? Now remember, stable scale degree is 1, 3, or sometimes even 5. So 5 can be a little bit of both sometimes. So that's why we really want to advance. So this would end on the tonic because we're in the key of G major. So let's have a quick review so far. So far we've identified that obviously we're in the key of G major. We've identified the status, voice leading is the same, conjunct is a step, and disjunct is a skip. So now we can see that we've moved both here and that the last phrase we're moving by conjunct, we're moving by step. But there is a little bit of a difference here. Number 3, we want to determine whether you're going to use the voice leading of status, conjunct, or disjunct to complete your melody. So what cadence voice leading is used in the half cadence? So now let's have the big reveal. So this moves from the third, from the mediant, down to the second degree, right? So we're moving here by step. And what voice leading is used for the authentic cadence? When we take a look here, we have the unstable scale degree of 7 moving to the tonic, which is 8 or 1, depending on how you want to write it. Does that make sense? So what is your choice for voice leading? Well, you can do all of them and really experiment. And here's the little bonus tip that I wanted to share with you today. And I think it's a big one, actually. When starting out your melody writing in a parallel period, you want to write your melody out on the whiteboard and experiment with different voice leading cadences. So you want to try this technique, the status, the conjunct, the disjunct. Experiment with them, see which one you think sounds better. And more importantly, once you've used this technique, go to the piano and play it, because you want to make sure that you always learn to hear what you see. And as you're looking at this melody, I may ask you, can you hear that in your head? Well, you need to be able to, right? Because when you think about all of the great composers, how many times have they just jotted down their melody on a piece of staff paper? We need to be able to associate that. So first, perhaps you want to start out by writing it on your whiteboard, and then take it up to the piano and explore playing and writing different variations of your melody. And just remember to end the first phrase on an unstable scale degree and the second phrase on a stable scale degree. So, oh, hello, Brenda. Awesome. It's great that you're here today. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to our Ultimate Music Theory YouTube channel. I want to say, whoop, whoop, we are over 2,000 subscribers on our Ultimate Music Theory YouTube channel. We release new videos every Wednesday, so make sure to check it out and join our Ultimate Music Theory Facebook group, because we're on live every Friday where I'm bringing you interviews, music theory tips, and a whole lot more. So happy melody writing in your level 6 Ultimate Music Theory supplemental workbook. And don't forget to grab your little answer books, because you want to make sure you can kind of check things out. And as you're looking at your answer books, remember that they're just giving you one example, but it's a great way to kind of get started with your melody writing. And for any more information, just be sure to check out ultimatemusictheory.com. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me.